You were meant to see this. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. There are no accidents in the divine rhythm of life. Just as a river finds its course without trying, so too has your soul arrived here, drawn not by chance, but by readiness, perhaps. You've felt it lately, a sense of restlessness, a quiet whisper deep within. A gentle nudge that says, there's more to this life than what you've been chasing. This is that moment of stillness your spirit has been waiting for. When I was young, much before the robes, the silence, the long hours of meditation, I too was caught in the great chase, running toward what I thought would bring me happiness, success, recognition, validation. But even in the loudest moments of celebration, I felt an emptiness. Have you ever smiled while feeling lost inside? One night, I remember sitting under a neem tree, watching the stars and realizing I hadn't truly heard my own breath in years. I had been so busy trying to matter, I forgot how to simply be. That night changed my life. Not because a miracle happened, but because I chose to stop. To sit, to listen, to feel again. And so I ask you now, when was the last time you sat with yourself without distractions, without a screen, without the noise of the world? The truth is, we don't need to travel to a monastery to find peace. Peace is not a place, peace is a presence. A returning home to yourself. Let me share a story. There once was a traveler who climbed a great mountain in search of the wisest monk in the land. He wanted to know the secret to happiness. When he reached the top, exhausted and desperate, he asked, "Master, what is the key to a joyful life?" The monk smiled gently and handed him a small mirror. He said, "The answer has always been with the one in this reflection, but he must learn to truly see himself. That traveler is you. That mirror is this moment. So ask yourself, what am I really running from? Whose expectations am I trying to meet? What would happen if I slowed down just enough to breathe with awareness?" You see, in our world, doing is rewarded, but being is forgotten. Yet the greatest truths are revealed in stillness, not speed. My dear one, you are not late in life. You are not behind. The soul does not work in calendar years. Your awakening happens the moment you choose to open your inner eyes. This video, this conversation, is your soul's quiet invitation to pause and return. As we sit together over the next hour, allow your mind to soften, let the noise dissolve, just be here completely. Because somewhere inside you, there is a version of you that is calm, wise, whole, and they are waiting to be remembered. Every breath you take is a prayer, a moment to return to yourself. So let's begin this journey together. Breathe in, and as you do, let go of all that isn't yours to carry. Breathe out and release the weight you've carried far too long. Remember, the soul does not shout, it whispers, and today, it is whispering to you. You are exactly where you need to be. We'll continue with deeper lessons, inner tools, and sacred reflections on page 2, but for now, simply be still and let the seed of awareness take root. Next step continues the journey. Come back soon. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Soulful Wisdom, welcome back. My dear one, you are still here. That says something sacred about your soul. You're not just curious, you're ready. In our last moment together, we spoke about stillness, the mirror of the present moment, and how your presence here is not an accident, but a gentle pull from the deepest part of yourself. Now, let us go even deeper. Let me share with you something many people do not understand until it's far too late. Not every movement is progress. We live in a world obsessed with more goals, more achievements, more comparison. But the truth? You can climb a ladder for years, only to realize it's leaning against the wrong wall. I've met people who had all the success the world could offer, wealth, fame, power, and yet, when they sat across from me in silence, their eyes spoke a different truth: loneliness, exhaustion, emptiness dressed in gold. One such man came to me many years ago, a businessman, admired by many, always busy, always running. He asked me, "How do I find peace?" I looked at him and said, "First, you must stop running." He laughed, "But if I stop, I'll lose everything." And I replied, "But if you keep running, you'll lose yourself." That conversation lingered with him. Months later, he returned, this time with tears in his eyes and silence in his heart. He said, "I listened. I stopped. And I found the version of myself I had abandoned years ago." Sometimes we lose ourselves not in tragedy, but in the quiet forgetting of who we are beneath the noise. So I ask you today, who were you before the world told you who to be? The child who danced without needing an audience, the soul who found joy in the breeze, in a bird's song, in simply being alive. Where did that part of you go? It didn't disappear, it only went quiet, waiting for your return. You do not need to fix yourself. You only need to remember yourself. This is the path of mindful living, not running away from life, but walking beside it with awareness. Each step can be sacred, each breath can be prayer. But this requires something many are afraid to give: silence. Not the absence of sound, but the absence of distraction. We fear silence because we're afraid of what we'll hear, but the Soul speaks in silence. It tells you truths no one else can give. It reminds you of your true path. Let me share with you a simple practice. You don't need incense. You don't need a temple. All you need is attention each morning before you reach for your phone. Before the world rushes in, close your eyes, place your hand on your heart, and ask yourself, what does my soul need today? Not what your boss needs, not what the world expects. What your soul needs. You'll be surprised how often the answer is simple: rest, presence, gratitude, forgiveness. You see, wisdom does not scream. It does not compete for attention. It waits patiently like an old friend, and today, it's welcoming you back home. Let's return to the breath. Breathe in slowly, and as you do, feel your feet grounded beneath you. Feel the life that moves through you without asking for anything in return. This breath is a gift. Not earned, not promised, just received. You are not broken, dear one, you are becoming like a lotus rising through the mud. Your journey may be messy, but the bloom is still sacred. Do not rush the process. Do not judge the unfolding. Even the sun takes time to rise. In the pages ahead, we will talk about suffering, why pain visits even the kindest souls. We will speak of purpose, how to know when you are walking your true path, and we will share ancient practices to reconnect with your divine essence. But for now, let this seed settle into your being. You were meant to see this not as entertainment, but as a remembrance of who you truly are. And if this voice, this moment, this message has stirred something in you, don't turn away. That stirring is your awakening. Let us continue soon. In next step, where we'll walk together through the mystery of suffering and the hidden blessings it brings. Until then, be kind to your breath. Be gentle with your journey, and know this: you are not alone on this path. Continues the journey. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Soulful Wisdom, you came back, and I honor you for that. Not everyone chooses to return. Not everyone chooses to face themselves, but you did, and that tells me you are not just seeking peace. You are ready to become peace itself. In our last conversation, we spoke of stillness, of slowing down, of remembering who you truly are beneath the noise. And now, I invite you to walk deeper into a place most people try to avoid: suffering. You see, my dear one, people often ask me, why do the kindest people suffer? Why must the ones who love deeply also hurt deeply? The answer is not simple, but it is sacred. Let me tell you a story. Years ago, in a small village at the edge of a forest, there was an old potter. He would create beautiful clay pots that people came from miles to buy, but there was one pot he kept for himself, cracked, chipped, and scarred. A traveler once asked him, why do you keep this broken pot when you can make perfect ones every day? The potter smiled and said, because this one taught me the most. Every crack in it was a lesson in patience, in humility, in learning to listen to the clay. Its scars are the proof that I did not give up. You, too, may carry cracks. You may have scars invisible to the world, but these marks, they are sacred. They tell the story of your strength. They whisper the truth that you survived. The path of the awakened soul is not without suffering. In fact, the pain often comes before the awakening, like the storm that clears the air or the fire that refines the gold. We were not promised a life without pain. We were promised growth through it, and most importantly, we were promised that we would never be alone in it. Even I, after many years in silence, still feel moments of sorrow. The loss of loved ones, the ache of watching others suffer, the weight of the world's noise. But here's the difference: I do not resist it, I sit with it, I breathe with it, and eventually I learn from it. Pain is a teacher that does not whisper, it arrives loudly, but if you listen, truly listen, it does not come to punish you. It comes to purify you. Let me offer you a practice. The next time suffering arises in your life, instead of asking, why me, ask this instead: what is this pain trying to teach me? You'll be amazed how your heart begins to open, not close. Sometimes suffering teaches us how to let go. Sometimes it reveals who truly loves us. Sometimes it shows us who we have become. But always, always, it brings us closer to the soul. You see, awakening isn't about becoming someone new. It's about shedding everything you are not, and often, the fire of suffering burns away the masks we've worn for too long. There is an old Sanskrit word, tapas. It means heat or discipline. But spiritually, it refers to the inner fire that refines the soul. Your pain is not meaningless. It is your tapas, your sacred fire. So don't curse it, don't suppress it, don't rush it away. Sit with it, hold space for it. Speak to it as a guest who has come with wisdom in its hands. Let me ask you this gently: what wound in you needs not judgment, but presence? What part of you is still waiting to be held, not healed? Because healing doesn't begin when the pain disappears. It begins when the pain feels safe to be seen. So sit, now, even in silence. Breathe. Feel the truth of this moment, the ache, the grace, the aliveness of simply being. You are not broken. You are breaking open like a seed in The dark cracked open to reach for the light, and so, my dear one, as we move forward in page 4, I will guide you through discovering your life's true purpose. Not the one society assigned to you, but the one your soul came here to fulfill. We will explore how to listen to the voice of destiny that lives inside you and how to walk your path with deep clarity, no longer afraid of who you're meant to become. But until then, I ask you only this: be with yourself, no distractions, just the quiet company of your own breath, and the remembering that you are not alone and never have been. We continue soon. Continues the journey, come back soon. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Soulful Wisdom, welcome back. Your return tells me something sacred, that you're not just passing by, you are committed to stillness, to healing, to truth. You have walked through the gate of stillness, you have faced the fire of suffering. Now, you are ready to meet something even more profound, your purpose. Many spend their entire lives asking, why am I here? What am I supposed to do with this life? How do I know if I'm on the right path? And let me tell you, the answer is rarely found in books or lectures or even through logic. It's found in the silence beneath the noise, in the rhythm of your own breath, in the gentle whisper of your soul that says, this is who you are. Let me share a story, one I've rarely told. When I first entered the monastery as a young man, I was desperate for clarity. I believed that wisdom would strike like lightning, sudden, bright, unforgettable. But days turned to weeks, silence turned into discomfort, meditation felt like emptiness. And one night, feeling defeated, I sat beside my teacher, an elder monk who had lived more years in silence than I had been alive. I asked him, how do I know what my purpose is? He smiled gently, looked into the dark sky, and said, purpose is not a place you arrive at. It is a path you walk with presence. You do not find it, you remember it. At first, I didn't understand, but over time, I saw the truth. You see, your purpose is not in the future. It's not in a job title. It's not in how many people admire you. Your purpose is in the energy you bring to every moment. It's in the way you love, the way you listen, the way you rise after falling, the way your presence makes others feel safe, seen, and heard. Purpose is not a destination. It is the way you walk this life. Sometimes your purpose is grand and visible, building, creating, teaching. Sometimes it is quiet, healing your lineage, breaking cycles, softening your own heart. Sometimes your purpose is just to breathe through pain that others couldn't, and in doing so, you heal more than you know. So let me ask you now, not with pressure but with peace, what brings you alive? Not what you're good at, not what you get paid for, but what stirs your soul? What makes time disappear? What opens your heart, even in silence? That is a doorway. Follow it, not because the world applauds it, but because your soul recognizes it as home. Let me teach you a practice, a sacred one. I call it the purpose pulse. Each evening before you sleep, ask yourself, where today did I feel most alive? Write it down, not in a phone, on paper. Let your soul feel the ink. After 30 days, read your notes. You will see a thread, not created by chance, but by your true inner compass. That thread is your path. Do not worry if it doesn't look like anyone else's. A river does not flow like another, and a tree does not apologize for the shape of its growth. You, too, are not meant to be a copy. You are a unique echo of the divine, with a voice, a heart, and a gift that no one else in this universe can offer. You being alive is proof that your purpose is still unfolding. And hear me now. Your purpose is not only what you do, it's who you become in the process. As you walk this path of mindfulness and awakening, you will become more aligned, more attuned, more whole. And as you do, your life begins to reveal itself to you, like a lotus blooming one petal at a time. There is no rush, there is only presence. And know this, my dear one, even if you feel lost, your soul never is. Even if you feel far, your path is still beneath your feet. You are not behind, you are becoming. Let us take one breath together. Inhale the truth that your life has meaning. Exhale the fear that you are not enough. You are here, you are aware, and that is already divine. In the next step, we will speak of relationships, not only with others, but with yourself. We will explore sacred boundaries, soulful connections, and the art of letting go without anger. Because no awakening is complete without learning the dance of connection. How to love without losing yourself, how to serve without being depleted, how to forgive and still protect your peace. But until then, be kind with your steps, be soft with your breath, and remember, you are walking your purpose simply by walking with awareness. Continues the journey, come back soon. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Soulful Wisdom, you have arrived again, and that means you are walking deeply. Many begin the journey, few continue through the layers of the soul. But you are committed. You've come through stillness, through suffering, through the question of purpose. And now we come to a sacred mirror, relationships. Let me tell you a truth many fear to say. The relationship you have with others is only as deep as the relationship you have with yourself. You see, we are taught how to earn, how to succeed, how to impress, but no one teaches us how to truly connect, to love, to hold space, to walk with someone without losing ourselves. Let me take you back to an old moment. There was a young monk in our monastery, quiet, kind, but often disturbed. He struggled with his fellow brothers. He felt unseen, misunderstood. One day, in great frustration, he asked our elder teacher, "Why do others not see me? I show kindness, I share, I serve, yet I feel alone." Our master simply said, "Have you yet learned to see yourself?" At first, the young monk was confused, but slowly, over months of silence and inner inquiry, he began to understand. We do not receive the love we deserve. We receive the love we believe we are worthy of. The world cannot reflect what we ourselves deny. This is why so many feel unseen, because deep within, they have not yet seen themselves. So, I ask you with great gentleness, have you truly met yourself yet? Not your image, not your achievements, but your raw, sacred, vulnerable self. Have you sat with your own wounds long enough to understand them, so you don't bleed them into the lives of those you love? This is the beginning of sacred relationship, not getting love, but becoming love. We all carry wounds, and those wounds crave comfort, sometimes even at the cost of our peace. That is why we fall into toxic patterns. That is why we chase people who mirror our deepest insecurities, not our highest truth. But today, this moment, this awareness, is your opportunity to break the cycle. Let me teach you something ancient. In the Vedic teachings, there is the concept of Atman, the soul. And it is said that the Atman within you is the same divine spark in all beings. When you truly recognize your own divinity, you begin to see the sacred in others, even those who have hurt you, even those who are lost. This doesn't mean you let them stay. Boundaries are not walls, they are acts of love. There is a wisdom in knowing when to stay and when to let go. I have watched flowers bloom only to wilt because they were planted in soil that could not nourish them. And I have seen people dim their light just to fit into places they had outgrown. Do not shrink for the sake of peace. Real peace comes from living in truth. So if a connection requires you to abandon your voice, your peace, your soul, it is not love, it is attachment, and love is never meant to be a cage. Let me offer you a reflection. Ask yourself this tonight: which relationships in my life water my soul, and which ones drain it? Be honest, not harsh, not angry, just honest. And then, take a deep breath. Not to cut people out, but to begin returning to yourself. The deeper you go within, the more you attract others who walk that same path. When you heal, your energy heals your entire circle. That's how love expands. Start with presence. Start with listening. Start with you. You are the sacred soil in which all your relationships are rooted. If you nourish that soil with self-respect, with compassion, with stillness, the flowers that bloom in your life will be sacred, sustainable, and soul deep. And so, dear one, we have now touched upon the sacred for stillness, suffering, purpose, and now relationships. In the next step, we will speak of the final unfolding, the power of surrender and trust. We will dive into how to let go of what you cannot control, how to walk through the unknown with grace, and how to open yourself to divine timing even when you feel forgotten. That final chapter is perhaps the most difficult, but also the most freeing. Until then, speak gently to yourself. Hold your own heart like you would a child, and remember, you deserve the love you so freely give to others. Continues the journey. Come back soon. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Soulful Wisdom, you've returned. And that alone speaks volumes. You are not just listening to these words, you are living them. We've walked together through the sacred gates of stillness, suffering, purpose, and the heart-opening power of relationships. And now, we arrive at a threshold that many fear to cross, but one that holds the key to true liberation. Surrender. The world tells you to control, to force, to fight, to strategize every detail. But life's real life is not meant to be conquered. It is meant to be co-created. There comes a moment in every seeker's path where doing more is not the answer, where effort must give way to trust. Let me share a memory with you. Many years ago, when I was still learning to release control, I planted a Bodhi tree sapling in our monastery courtyard. I watered it daily. I watched over it like a parent. But after weeks, it didn't grow. One day, an elder monk smiled at me and said, "Your love is pure, but even a tree grows in its own time." He placed a single stone near the roots and whispered, "Now, let go." At first, I didn't understand, but over the months, I visited the tree less with expectation and more with stillness, and quietly, without fanfare, it began to rise. That tree now towers over the courtyard, its shade embracing monks who were not even born when I planted it. That's the thing about surrender. It doesn't mean giving up, it means releasing resistance. It means letting go of the belief that you must know everything to be safe. So, let me ask you this. Dear one, what are you holding onto so tightly that it's starting to hold you back? A timeline, an outcome, a version of yourself you've outgrown sometimes. What you're clinging to is the very thing standing between you and the peace you seek. Here's a sacred truth. The universe is not here to hurt you. It's here to shape you, and sometimes that shaping happens in the form of detours, delays, and even disappointments. But just because the path looks different doesn't mean the destination has changed. When you surrender, you begin to see meaning in what once felt meaningless. You begin to trust that even the pause has a purpose, that the setback is a setup for sacred alignment. Let me offer you a practice, one that changed my life forever. Each night, before you sleep, place your hand on your heart and say, I surrender what I cannot control. I trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should. Say it aloud, not just as words, but as a vow. Feel the weight lift off your shoulders, feel the tension soften in your breath, and sleep, knowing that your soul is being held by something far greater than fear. You don't need to see the entire map, just the next step. And when you walk that next step with trust, the path appears. There is a phrase from the ancient Upanishads: let go of what is not yours to carry, and you will be given what was always meant for you. So let go of who you thought you had to be. Let go of timelines that suffocate your spirit. Let go of needing to control every twist in the journey. And in that letting go, you make space for grace to arrive. There is one last step in our journey together. In the next step, we will speak of returning home, not to a place, but to your truest essence. We will explore how to integrate all that we've learned: stillness, suffering, purpose, relationships, and surrender into a life of awakened living. You see, awakening is not a moment. It is a way of being, moment to moment. In our final chapter together, I will share the closing circle, the monk's final teaching, how to walk in this world with peace, presence, and purpose. Until then, dear one, breathe, release, trust. You are being guided even when you cannot see the way. Continues the journey. Come back soon. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the final chapter. Soulful Wisdom. You've made it, not just to the final page of the spoken journey, but to a deeper version of yourself. Many start the path, few stay when the path gets quiet. Even fewer stay when it gets uncomfortable. But you, dear soul, have walked through 7 gates of remembrance, through stillness, through suffering, through the fire of purpose, the lessons of relationships, the sacred trust of surrender. And now, we come to the final door, returning home. But here's the secret: you were never far from home. You only forgot. This moment, right now, is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of a more awakened way of living. You don't need to live in a monastery to be mindful. You don't need to escape the world to find peace. You simply need to remember who you are in every moment. Let me take you back, just for a breath. When I first entered silence, I thought I was leaving the world behind. But what I found was far more profound. In silence, I met myself, not the monk, not the seeker, just the essence. I saw my fears without disguise, my hopes without shame. And in that deep inner sky, I found home. Not a place, not a title, but a presence. That's what I want to leave with you today. Awakening is not becoming something new. It is remembering what has always been true. It's remembering that your breath is sacred, that your thoughts do not define you, that your soul is not broken, it's blooming. You may ask, how do I carry this into my daily life? Let me offer you 3 gentle reminders, not rules, not rituals, just sacred signposts. 1. Start each day with awareness, not anxiety. Before the world floods your mind, take just 1 minute. Place your hand on your heart and say, I choose to be present. That single breath will shift your energy. 2. See the divine in the ordinary way. Sunlight filters through your window, the steam rising from your morning tea, the laugh of a stranger, the tears you shed when no one is watching. These are not distractions. They are doorways. When you begin to see every moment as sacred, you don't need a temple, because life itself becomes your altar. 3. Return to the breath. When you are lost, there will be days you forget everything we've shared. That's okay. We are human, but the breath always brings you back. Inhale, I am here. Exhale, I am enough. That simple practice has saved me more times than I can count. You see, awakening isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's not about escaping the world. It's about showing up with intention. And when you begin to live this way, even the small moments become holy. Washing dishes, listening without needing to respond, letting go without needing to win, loving without needing to possess. These are the real miracles. There is a final story I want to leave with you, one that has carried me through many seasons. A student once asked his master, after all these years of meditation and silence, what have you truly learned? The master replied, I have learned to listen to the rain without needing it to stop. That is awakening. To allow life to unfold, to feel the rain, to feel the sun, to feel the breath, and simply be with it all. So now, dear one, you have returned home to yourself, not as someone new, but as someone whole. Carry this peace with you. Let it ripple out into your words, your choices, your relationships. Let the world feel your calm simply by your presence. You are no longer just a seeker. You are the light others will seek. Let your life become the teaching. The final step will be our sacred conclusion, a deep integration of everything we've shared. A moment of stillness, a parting blessing, a message you'll carry forever. Subscribe now so you don't miss it. Soulful Wisdom, share this message with someone who may need it tonight. Here we are, at the end of this sacred journey together, yet in truth, this is not the end at all. It is the beginning of a new chapter, your chapter. The moment you take all that you have learned and make it your own. In the silence between words, in the spaces between breaths, you carry the wisdom of every step we have walked. Let me remind you once more, life is not about perfection. It is about presence, not about arriving somewhere, but about being here, now. You were never meant to rush through life's precious moments. You were meant to savor them, to feel them, to honor them. Remember the lessons we shared, the power of stillness, to quiet the mind and hear your soul's whisper, the sacredness of suffering, not to break you, but to build you anew, the call of purpose, to find what sets your heart on fire and follow it with courage, the dance of relationships, to love deeply, forgive freely, and grow together. The art of surrender, to release control and trust. The unseen currents guiding you, the homecoming, to return to your truest essence. The light within that never fades. This light inside you is eternal. It does not depend on your circumstances or your achievements. It shines brightest in your moments of vulnerability, when you choose compassion over fear and presence over distraction. You may walk through storms, you may face shadows, but the light remains, your true self, unwavering and whole. So, how will you live this wisdom, not as a theory, but as a way of life? Start small, breathe deeply, listen more, judge less. Be kind, first to yourself, then to others. Celebrate your progress, no matter how quiet or slow. And whenever you feel lost, come back here, to these words, to this presence, to this moment. You were meant to see this at this exact moment. Not by accident, but by divine timing. The universe speaks in mysterious ways. When you listen, truly listen, you will find answers not in the noise, but in the quiet spaces between. Thank you for walking this path with me. May your journey be blessed with clarity, courage, and boundless peace. Until we meet again, walk in light, walk in love, walk in truth. If this message touched your soul, please like, share, and subscribe. Join our community for more teachings and soulful reflections. Soulful Wisdom YouTube channel. Welcome to Soulful Wisdom. You were meant to see this message right now, a sacred call to pause, reflect, and reconnect with your deepest self. This video guides you through timeless teachings on presence, surrender, purpose, and love. Let the monk's gentle words inspire your soul's journey and awaken a profound peace within. If you feel moved by this message, please like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more life-changing insights and spiritual guidance. Thank you for being here. May your path be blessed always. If you want to explore more teachings, ask me anytime. I'm here to walk with you.